Oh, baby, it feels good to be back. It's another week, the XoneBros. This is your positive Xbox and gaming community. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's my cheat day. I've got 2 Dr. Pepper's vanilla mode sitting right in front of me.
You've lost like 20 pounds, haven't you?
I'm at like 16, yeah.
Oh, you've been at 16 for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I've like kind of. I may have
Never mind, my
plateaued.
compliment is retracted.
I may have plateaued. I haven't been to the gym in a little. I got to get in a routine, man.
Yeah.
Back in a routine.
The routine.
I'm completely thrown off.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good job on 16 pounds.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. I've noticed.
My sex appeal has gone up.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'm putting all of my character points.
I thought it was into DILF.
Yeah, DILF.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Well, that's the character class.
You're going
that's
for
class.
you're doing the DILF build.
the DILF build. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Now, what
Yeah.
goes into a DILF build?
Strength,
Okay,
charisma,
Charisma. Okay.
no intelligence. Intelligence is
no,
a 0.
Don't need intelligence. Yeah.
Tucked in shirt to your jeans.
Tucked in shirt.
Yeah, like a Ralph Lauren or a Calvin Klein. Yeah, like
Okay.
a Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's all like, it's not intelligence, not wisdom, nothing like that. It's pure charisma and strength.
Persuasion, maybe.
Yeah,
Persuasion.
charisma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
persuasion.
that's
Yeah.
charisma is persuasion. Yeah.
Done. I'm
You got
halfway
there.
there. I was built. I was built to be a DILF class.
You are. I mean,
Don't need
I
intelligence.
don't even think you're halfway there.
Don't need to get. No need intelligence. Don't need to be there.
Yeah, those are all zeros.
There's a huge Xbox update this week. Huge. We now have a 4K dashboard.
Yes, it's
Wait,
actually,
we didn't have a 4K
so
dashboard
you had
before?
you had a 1080p dashboard upscaled to 4K. You now have
So-
a native 4K dashboard, in addition to a couple other features as well.
So
Oh,
I sat
fascinating.
and looked for a while, and I could not tell the difference. But I looked, and it is comforting to know.
There is.
It
I
is
believe.
comforting to know
I
that it's
believe.
4K.
No. I believe there is a bug. Where it doesn't, you have to like actually manually update. I saw people talking online about that, where they had to go in and they had to check for updates and then
Yeah.
manually update for the October update.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe that
Maybe I'm not updating
They
it.
on Microsoft's website they did show like a screenshot of half the old and half the new, and there's you notice on like
But
little stuff.
yeah, there's not a
you
lot
know?
happening on the
So-
dashboard. So, but it's still nice to have.
No, yeah, it's
It is
nice
still
there.
to have.
It's so native 4K on the dashboard.
Jordan or David staring at the screen, thinking that there is a difference when there's not a difference, is a perfect zero intelligence move.
It's a DILF class.
Perfect DILF
DILF
class
class.
move.
Yeah.
To just sit there and go, I can't tell the difference.
Well, maybe I'm just saying there
Is
there
there
is
a
a bug
difference here?
that has been reported. So, but anyway,
That's a perfect.
Jordan
DILF
is tech class.
move. he could
Comes
be
in.
tech class. Yeah.
Comes in.
there is
Spicy, you're still range.
Range,
You're
yeah,
still
you're
range
just
guy.
you're just the range
No
guy.
matter what. You're always range.
I'm sitting at the. Hey, can you take care of that? over
You're
there?"
always range class.
They came out with 2 other features as well, so it's a smaller update, but I think good stuff was implemented. One of them was a quick setting bar, so when you hit the home menu, there's now you can hit the square. I don't know what the technical. I think
It's the
I
back
think-
button or
I think-
select
yeah,
button.
it's the back button, but I think it's technically the
It's
view
the
button.
view
Yeah,
button.
the view
On
button.
Twitter, someone like clarified it, and it will always be start and back to me. I don't care what you call it. One is the menu button, one is the view button. I'm sorry, Microsoft. Nice try. It's
Nice.
never going to
Yeah,
happen.
nice try.
It will always be start, and it will always be back.
I'm calling it square and hamburger.
Square hamburger.
Yeah, that's what I call it too. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Why view and...
Well, didn't we ask this question? Did we assume? I don't think we ever looked into it. But why don't you just use start and select? Every gamer knows that. It's
Or
like
back.
it's programmed.
Back made
yeah,
sense.
It's programmed into their brains. But we came to the conclusion that maybe Nintendo trademarked start and select or something.
That
like
would
that.
make sense.
So
That would
because
make
theirs
sense.
are start and select, or actually theirs are plus and minus
But
now.
why
we
get
know they're
rid
start and
of
select, yeah.
why get rid of back? That made
Yeah.
sense. The arrow back. Remember that was the logo of it.
Well, and why is it view? What is the function of it? It doesn't do a view function in game. Like you don't.
Well, it is usually the map. Like
not
I have
necessarily
never used
unless
it for the map.
Yeah, it's
no, like in an open world game, you hit it, the map pulls up.
not in Battlefield. Not anymore.
Well, actually, we have a lot of information
Hey.
on that today.
Okay,
It will,
maybe
yeah,
it
yeah,
will be.
yeah.
Hey, I learned something about Battlefield today. Sam, shout out to Sam, who's out there. Who
Sam.
dude,
Nice.
Sam is the man. He's in the UK. He used to work, or he works in the gaming industry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he knows some people that work at EA, and told me today. This might be rumor. This might not be true. but
And you're not under NDA or
Are we
anything.
allowed
under
to say
NDA.
this?
I don't know.
Is
Well, let
Sam
me-
his real name, or do we need to give him a fake name? just in case this comes back.
Maybe we talk. Maybe you do it in the behind the scenes, behind a paywall.
I think we're good. Anyways, he told me that the reason
this guy Jeff
that
told
Battlefield
us.
5,
Who's Jeff?
what
Jeff.
happened is EA treated their Reddit during Battlefield 5, like with the development and everything. They really were trying to be more in touch with the community, and so they used Reddit as the sounding board and representation of their community. Like, oh, well, this is our community. This is what they want, which is why the marketing completely off, which is why the balance in the game completely off. Like, because they solely went off Reddit, and that's not like that's a small percentage of players in your game. Then it's even a smaller representation because Reddit's so niche, anyways. Right? It's the same as Discord.
So I have a question. So their idea for Battlefield 5
Yeah.
was to
Listen to the community.
Listen to the
Well, I
community.
mean, so good intention. Starts at a good intention.
Okay. Listen to the community. That's okay. So why, when the community didn't open well to your trailer, your immediate answer was "Don't buy our game"
Because
Hashtag
that
not
wasn't
my...
the Reddit community.
Yes. Well, that
It makes sense though, right? Like it makes sense why it was so disjointed, and it was like, what is going on here? Reddit.
I think they're just.
well, I mean,
stupid.
would the idea
Because it doesn't take us. Okay, maybe they're doing a DILF class too, David.
They might be.
Because it's,
As a fellow DILF class character,
you don't fight fire with fire when you're trying to sell somebody something.
well, no,
That's just like common sense.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that portion of it is them being retarded. But the portion of like the overall decision on the overall marketing plan, why it felt a little bit disjointed and out of touch, is because I think they were trying to please everybody, and as a result, pleased nobody. Right? Like they were.
Yeah.
Like you've got to take feedback from the community, but the hardest thing is to fully understand what your community is thinking. It's very difficult.
Well, did they think because like I get did they think okay Reddit's the hardcore fan base?
I think that's
was that the idea?
I think that's
like,
I think that's what they thought. This is representative of our fan base. Let's give them what they want. Let's really try to listen to the community.
Didn't they go to their
do
own
it.
forums?
Maybe after
Which
that,
I guess,
that's why they did.
which I guess are probably Reddit. I mean, I don't know, like.
Anyways, I don't know how true that is, but that's what I was told by someone
Interesting.
whom I trust, and
Well, hey,
totally, and who is legitimately in the know, who would be in the know, and I was like, oh, fascinating. That totally makes sense to me.
Seems like an excuse.
real quick before we jump
They just
in.
messed up.
Yeah.
They were just stupid. You know what? I don't know. I'm just saying that.
Well-
They did not handle things in a manner that was conducive to wanting to make money and sell games.
Yeah, and
And
it
be
was
nice.
it was one of those things like whether you agreed with them or not. I agree that they did not handle the criticism very well.
Well, I think when you're caught off guard, though, like they clearly were caught off guard. They didn't expect that you get defensive, and that was them getting defensive. For instance, when you look at the Diablo 4, like you think to yourself, well, why did he say that? And it's because it blindsides you, and so you get defensive. Like, wait a minute, guys.
you mean Diablo Immortal, which by the way is
Diablo
still
Immortal.
not out.
Well, they had like 4 months to not get defensive, David. That's the thing. They had like 4 months to be like, okay, you know what? Let's not call people these names. Let's not say don't buy our game.
Yeah, but
Let's not
even
create a
not do
hashtag.
that.
well, but even in their marketing attempts, right? If you remember, they had the Comedy Central guy on talking about, and like you can have him on and talking about Battlefield the
but-
game.
but no offense,
But how
yeah, but-
they did it, it was like
It was
so fake.
It was Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah, there we go, that's his name, yeah.
Nothing against Trevor Noah, but no offense to him.
we should bring that up. Battlefield 5 Trevor Noah.
He's not the guy I'm gonna go to learn about weaponry. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's
and when
what-
he talked about me and my friends love the authenticity of the M24, and it's like,
Yeah, and we just sit
you're
here,
not necessarily.
And we just sit here and look at how real these guns look, and it's like, dude, you're like the most anti-gun.
Yeah,
which
you
is fine.
hate- yeah,
which is
but
fine.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
you, Trevor Noah. No knock on you on that, but you shouldn't be the guy having this talk.
You're not the gun guy.
Give me like a Marine guy or the guy that trained John Wick. That's the guy.
The guy that trained John Wick.
That's the guy that I want to.
Or the one guy, the Navy SEAL
Chuck
Jocko.
Norris.
Trevor Noah should have been like, he's there talking about how him and his friends play the game, and so it just, you could see like there was this disconnect.
There's
That doesn't exist this time around. This time around, they feel so focused.
There's a certain few celebrities in my mind that can host game stuff, and that one of them is Major Nelson and this is all they all have a similar aspect.
But Major Nelson is a celebrity after a game.
Yeah,
he was
but
a gamer.
The
first.
reason I picked Major Nelson is because I remember one time they said, "Hey, Major Nelson, here's a controller." He says, "No, I brought my own." And it was like, he's ready to play. The other was Terry Crews.
Terry Crews, legit
because,
gamer.
No, legit. When he was at the Battlefield event, they were like, "Terry, what are
keyboard.
you doing?" And he goes, "Hey, I'm binding my keys. Leave me alone." You know what I mean? It's like these guys are. And then Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Just because I don't know. I feel like he's entertaining at least.
No, well, Snoop Dogg is actually like,
And he's really good at Madden.
He games, man.
Yeah, he's really good at Madden.
He games. And he gets pissed at Madden, too.
Well,
just
he's
like
actually-
any other gamer would.
He's actually not really good at Madden, but he's fun to watch.
I didn't say he was good. I just
I
said
think
he
he's good at
games.
Madden.
No, Jordan said it.
I think he's good at Madden. Yeah, he's better than me at Madden.
Well, so is everybody else. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting. Tidbit of news there.
Okay, well, since we're talking about Battlefield, so they came out this week and had a big, basically, blog patch notes type thing about changes
Outside
they're
of Reddit.
Outside of Reddit, yeah, on their website.
Dude, well, they feel so focused, right? So EA, Respawn, Battlefield, DICE, you guys are crushing it this time around. You feel so focused.
Yeah, so and they came out with a bunch of changes. Now, looking back the past 2 weeks, I mean, my opinions on the beta haven't changed. I think the gameplay was fun. I think there was a lot of visual bugs. There was a lot of issues I'd like to see fixed. But overall, I thought we're on the right track. There was a lot of people that didn't like the game, which is fine. But I think a lot of that has to do, again, going back to, I think a lot of it has to do with communication.
Yeah.
Because apparently this was a 2-month, and I don't know, maybe I'm giving DICE the benefit of the doubt, or my hype is just getting the best of me. But so we were told this was a 2-month build, and so far what we've seen, that seems to be true. Because of all these fixes we got, I'm just going to go through some of the big ones that I wanted to be fixed.
Okay, go ahead.
First and foremost, and
First up.
no offense to who made it, but that terrible banner
Oh, yeah,
that
on the
came
top-
down.
the top right?
That came down,
Yeah.
It's called
distracting.
it's called the critical message bar.
Well, it did its job.
Yeah, or critical alert bar or something like that. They fixed it. So it's still a bar that comes down, but it's a smaller bar from what we see, and it's more transparent.
That's smart.
I would still prefer just a little thing coming down in the middle of the screen as opposed to a whole bar, but better. We're moving in the right direction.
Moving on
Better.
up.
So that's one of the biggest things. Another big thing for me was the kill feed and your point system. So in the beta, the kill feed was kind of hard to see on the left-hand side, and the point system for some reason was over on the right, and you only got points for skill or kills and stuff. So what they did is they fixed the kill feed. It's now like colored like red and blue, so you can see it much better. You can also customize your kill feed to only show squad kills, team kills, or the entire server kills, stuff like that. So which
The
is nice.
entire server, it would just be completely...
Yeah, so most people, my suggestion is to start out with just like squad, because your
And
squad,
leave it there.
Yeah, and leave it there. Yeah. So,
Can
but it's
you
much
imagine, what is it, 120 players?
128,
128 player kill feed?
132. So I don't know. So yeah, it's just going on. Yeah.
Just scrolling.
So that has been, and if they showed videos as well, kind of showing the changes they've made. Now, a lot of these fixes, it sounded like were already fixed. This is just the build they had available for us to play, type thing. So the kill feed is fixed. The numbers and scoring system is all fixed. It now comes in the middle of the screen, more traditional, like you would expect it to be, rather as off to the right. And it's colored. When you get a kill, it turns red. And so it's that's all fixed, which is great. Another big thing is the big map. It is in the game, but wasn't available for the beta. So in Battlefield games, you can, in addition to the mini map, you can pull up the big map to kind of see the overall battlefield. That will be returning. Just wasn't available in the beta.
Very
and then the biggest thing, in my opinion, and what I was slightly worried about, but I was like, no, there's no way they can do this. In the beta, you were only allowed to customize your gun through the plus system. In the full release game, they do have a full customization menu that you can do outside of game. It looks like, and they showed off all the different scopes and attachments that you'll be able to unlock. It looks like, honestly, it looks like a Battlefield 4 with the amount of attachments you can have on your weapons. Not at the same time, but the amount of attachments there are for a weapon, which is really cool. So you can customize that all before you jump into the match. It looks like you can customize your plus menu as well, at least kind of how they were showing it. So a lot of good fixes. Now, hopefully they just iron out all those visual bugs, and I think we're on track to a decent launch here. So, and again, I may be giving DICE the benefit of the doubt, or my hype for this game may just be getting the best of me. I hope it does well, but a lot of the issues that I personally had in the beta, which were mostly visual bugs and then like technical things like what we were talking about with the map, the score, and stuff like that, have been addressed.
Yeah.
They also did a lot of stuff to like accessibility with colorblind modes, which I always think is good. And then they did show off 5 new operators. So we now have our full list of 10 operators or specialists or whatever they're called in the game. There seems to be cool operators. There is a couple that I feel like some people are worried about. For example, there's one where he has a shield, and that shield can deflect bullets back. And some of the bigger Battlefield people, and me included, don't. I mean, that I don't know. We'll have to see how it works. The one operator, I forget their names, but that's one operator they showed off. The other operator basically has a wall hack where they can see behind walls, and that one people are kind of worried about too. I don't know if anyone. I don't know. Some people seem to be against it. Some people not. It's hard to tell because we can't actually get our hands on it yet. We're just seeing what they're allowing us to see. But the specialist system or the operator system, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, no,
with some of these abilities and stuff like that. In Hazard Zone, it kind of makes more sense because you're locked to one operator per squad.
Yeah, so you're working together.
So it's like, okay, we need this operator for this. This operator, like you're gonna, and I think there was one YouTuber I really like watching. I think his name is Westy. He's really cool. He's a Battlefield guy, but he was talking about like it almost seems like these operators were designed around Hazard Zone, not the big scale gameplay. Which make it. Yeah. So anyway, so we'll have to see when the operators come out how powerful and how DICE handles them, balance wise, or if they go as far as what Blizzard does, where they completely like retool an operator or a hero, or you know what I mean.
Tool an operator.
And so this got delayed. What's the new date on?
It's November, end of November.
End of November.
Yeah. But anyway, the good we're taking out of this is a lot of the issues that I had, and I think Mark had a lot of the similar issues. David probably did too. Yeah, are being addressed and looks much better. It looks much more like a Battlefield game. I think the only concern now is these. I keep calling them operators. I think they're called specialists, is what Battlefield's calling them. Is how the specialists will work with their abilities and whether they're OP or not.
Yeah, balance. So basically balance
yeah.
issues.
So, but we'll see.
Battlefield balancing has had some issues in the past. We'll see if they break it or not, but we'll see. I mean, basically, we have to play it to figure that part out.
Yeah. Another cool thing, not to stay on this topic too long, but the kill cam has kind of been fixed. I don't know if you guys noticed during the beta. When you got killed, it like zoomed into their eyeballs and stayed there for like 9 seconds, and you're like, what the? And then it kind of finally came back out, and you're like,
the
whoa.
best are the kill cams when you get killed, and then you're watching them, and someone sneaks up behind them and knifes them. It's so satisfying.
So apparently they fixed the kill cam a little bit. They also have more information that is displayed on a kill. They didn't say anything about medics nearby, which I really liked that feature. I think it was introduced. Was it I don't know when it was introduced. I know it was in Battlefield. I can't remember if it was in Battlefield 4 or not.
I know it wasn't. I know World War II one.
Well, I know it was in Battlefield 1, and then of course it was in 5. I can't remember if it was in 4 or not. Anyway, I really enjoy that feature because then you're like, oh, I have a medic 20 meters away. I'll wait to be revived so I don't waste a ticket or whatever. But anyway, on the kill feed, one thing I do like that they're doing, or the kill cam, is it'll show the player tag, which is their banner and everything. Then it'll show the gun they're using and the attachments they had on it. And this is where it gets interesting, is if you get, I don't know, let's say sniped, you can see what scope he was using. You can be like, okay, he was using an 8 times, or oh, he was using a silencer. That's why I didn't hear his bullets. The more information you give the player, I think. In that instance, I guess, is better, right? Because now I can see like, oh, he was using the under barrel, or he was using X barrel, or X ammo.
Do we
or
know how they're showing that? Because in the kill feed,
so it's on your kill cam.
It's on the it'll have the information
on the kill cam. So when you die, you'll go down, and then it'll show the kill cam. It'll show the player banner. It'll show their weapon, and then the attachments they use. I think that's just a little nice feature because then I can see, oh, that guy was using the same gun as me, but he had this barrel for probably the distance, and that's how he killed me. Or you know what I mean? It's a nice little informational thing that I think is good to give to the player. So
yeah.
Anyway, a lot of good changes.
I'm going to say it again. It just feels so focused. Oh. Last time I was excited for this much for a Battlefield game was Battlefield 1.
Yeah. The only thing I wish they would do is because, and I'm not blaming people for this because all they have is the beta to judge a game on, and this beta was old and didn't have a lot of the features that a normal Battlefield game would have. So I know it kind of deterred people from the game, which is a shame. I wish they'd be more like. Funny enough, in this instance, Halo, where they come out and they say, hey, just so you guys know, this beta is literally just for bots. It's this, they're very specific and they're very detailed and they're very conscious of what they're telling you. I almost wonder if this was, I think they got the information they needed, but I almost wonder if this was more of like, hey, EA just wants to push the beta out so we can get the hype, you know what I mean, or something. I don't know, but I wish they were just a little bit more transparent with the beta, saying like, hey, this is what's going to be in it, this is what's not going to be in it, this is what we're testing for. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I do appreciate about what Halo does with their betas. They've been very transparent.
What was the message when you started off? I have my gameplay from the beta because they did say right there. Let me read this. It doesn't really give us much information.
No, it gives you a commercial.
Yeah,
experience. The next generation.
Crossplay is enabled by default. This and other settings can be configured in the options. Yeah, it doesn't tell you for open beta info and troubleshooting. Check out this EA article, which I didn't go check out. Did you check that out? How am I supposed to? I'm not going to punch that in. HTTPS :
Yeah, there needs to be a hyperlink.
A million letters.
Because they have Edge on the Xbox. Just hyperlink that.
Yeah. So I wish, I think Battlefield themselves is being transparent and they are telling us what's going on. I just feel they could have handled the beta saying, hey, the big map's not going to be in it. We're still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that,
I think they still feel
went there.
super focused.
No, I know, I do too. And I'm
who's going to screenshot that screen? And who's going to punch in, 100 letters?
Anyone creating content on Battlefield 2042?
I guess, yeah.
GTA had a trailer of their remix here. And actually, let's get to our question by Mr. Fripp, who wrote in. Everybody, if you would like to write a question to the mail sack, you can do so each and every single week over on YouTube, youtube.com/XoneBros. He said, have you guys seen the GTA trilogy trailer that dropped today? What's the interest out there for this? I'm actually excited about it and plan on purchasing day one. He says, I just purchased the Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition today for $10. Is it still worth playing? Never played a Witcher game before. So first of all, on your $10 Witcher, that's a great deal.
Yeah, because that's the Game of the Year edition, because that comes with Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone. You're getting like 13 hours per dollar.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
13 hours per dollar.
Absolutely still worth playing. But as far as this GTA trailer, I am very excited for this. As someone who missed out on it, the trilogy rather, I'm very excited to go back and experience it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can make a game pretty, which they've obviously done. For those listening, we have the trailer up behind us. But it's the mechanics and
it's still they show some and it's like, that's a little wonky.
Because
I think they're
the old GTA controls definitely GTA controls got better every game.
Well, so they did say that the controls are going to mimic GTA 5.
Okay. So they have.
So they went in and they did talk the controls. Well, they'll be more in line with GTA 5 because I'm sure there's things that maybe they were kind of like, oh shoot, we can't change this. You know what I mean? So, but they're going to be more in line with GTA 5.
So, Jordan, San Andreas is on Game Pass.
Yeah, this is really interesting. So, David and I were talking about this before the show. Mark, you were gone for this, so this exciting.
Wait,
so
what? I was gone?
yeah, so GTA Trilogy comes out November 11th, but on that very same day, GTA San Andreas remastered will be available for Game Pass, which is really interesting. So going back to the question we got, maybe don't buy the trilogy just yet. Play through San Andreas remastered because that'll be on Game Pass. And then if you like that, you can go into Vice City and then Grand Theft Auto 3. I don't know why they're doing that.
Wait, what number is Andreas?
It's after 3 they start. Oh no,
After Vice.
But yeah.
So it went.
So you would be playing
3
it backwards
Vice.
if you start with San Andreas?
San Andreas is the newest of the 3.
Correct. It's the most latest. So
I don't want to start with San Andreas though.
But
the stories aren't really
don't
intertwined yet.
They aren't intertwined at all. They're all standalone.
Oh, that's okay.
And the thing is, though, Andreas is probably
The
I would
best-
say it's the best because it's the most deep and most rich, and yeah, that's probably the best out of the 3.
which is probably why that one's going on Game Pass. I just wonder why one of them. David, you made the comment maybe it's just to wet your palate, so you'd
I
buy
think
the
it's
trilogy
to wet
or
your
something like
palate.
that. Yeah. So it also makes me think: can you buy them individually?
I also think Microsoft is buying Rockstar.
Maybe it's an
Take
A/B
Two.
test.
I think they're buying Take Two. I think this is a hint at that. These are the tremors of the earth shaking.
I bet you it's like an A/B test where they're going to see which one makes more money.
yeah. That's hilarious.
It's just one big giant.
What is this going for? $39?
$60.
It's the full price. Okay.
But you're getting 3. I would roughly say ballparking 20-hour games.
yeah.
15 to 20. Let's say 15 to 25-hour games, depending on what you do. San Andreas probably the longest because it's the deepest. You have the most side stuff to do. There's a lot of property management there in Vice City that you got to take care of.
Well, there's property management in Andreas as well.
which is more fleshed out.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's-
you're right.
But it's not in Miami.
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'd say at least 15 hours, right? 15 hours each way. Maybe, I'd say at least 15 hours.
Defenestrator in chat says, "Thank God they're updating the controls. The Vice City controls are so hard to go back to after 5."
See, that's what I was worried about. You can make it pretty. That's a very good point. You can make it pretty. But does that change? Does messing with the... Here's the problem. You mess with the controls. Is it the same difficulty / is it the same feel? Is it the same that you played before? But you kind of have to because it's so dated.
Yeah.
I
think you could do it.
Yeah.
You could do anything with money.
That's... You know what? You're right.
Ugh.
So I just wonder how they're going to do that, because that's a challenge Rockstar has to deal with, the old controls versus how people play the game now, and if that affects the integrity of the missions of the game.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see. So let's go through the top 5 Grand Theft Auto. What's your top in order Grand Theft Auto titles? Let's go backwards. Number 5.
Is this including are we talking Rockstar? Because Red Dead? Are we?
I think we're talking Rockstar.
Okay.
So this is Pure Xbox put together their top Grand Theft Auto titles.
And you didn't even give me time to think about.
Let's go through theirs and see if we.
So we'll
agree
go
or
through theirs. That's what I'm
disagree.
going to say. So number 5, coming in at number 5, here over at PureXbox.com, guys, go check them out, is Grand Theft Auto 3.
I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that would be on this list.
Oh, you don't think it would be? Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, it was pretty. It was a big deal.
Well, and it sounds like they're just doing Rockstars, right? Because Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 were a different company, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was a big deal and very influential for its time. The fact that they took something and made it 3D, that's important. But putting it on the top 5 of Rockstar games, I don't know if it belongs there.
Okay.
Well, let's see what 4.
Number 4 is
through 1.
Vice City.
Okay, Vice City. Can I have your pen? I want to write these down.
I personally would have put Vice City higher.
Okay.
And Vice City's at least in the 3 slot for me. At least in the 3 slot. Who do they have for 3?
Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5.
I would probably put Grand Theft Auto 5 at 1.
You think it's their best?
Financially. The discussion
I
could
actually,
be made.
I actually do. I think I would put 5 at 1, and then my number 2 would be 4. So I would go Vice City, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Because
So
I like
5
Nico.
is 3. Okay, ready? Coming in at number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 4.
That's where mine would be.
Okay. And coming in at number 1 is San Andreas.
See, that's good. See,
Okay, so these are just all Grand Theft Auto. It's not Rockstar titles
Yeah, it's just
because
their Grand Theft
they're
Auto
missing.
games.
I would have put the Warriors on there. I would have put Red Dead, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
So
just-
this is just Grand Theft
yeah,
Auto
just-
games. Yeah.
okay.
So to go through that. Number 5, we've got Grand Theft Auto 3. Number 4, Vice City. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 2 is number 4, Grand Theft Auto 4, and number 1 is San Andreas.
I would interchange my number 3 between San Andreas and Vice City, depending on how I felt that day. But I think I would keep 4 at number 2, and I honestly think I would keep 5 at number 1 because I know I understand the criticisms of jumping between the characters, but I really liked what they tried to do there, telling the story. And I thought the missions were fun. It was the most open world of them all, probably due to technology. But
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say San Andreas is 1.
You
I
go
agree
with
that.
San Andreas. Wait,
I agree.
Jordan, where do you put San Andreas? At 3?
It intertwines. It changes at 3. It's at 3 with Vice City, depending on how I feel for the.
Okay, so it can interchange with 2 or 3 for you. Okay. Spicy, you got 3. San Andreas at 1.
Jordan brings up a good point. Though I think 3, 2, and 1, all of these can be intertwined. But for me, San Andreas 1, GTA 4 is 2, and GTA 5.
So
Actually, that's what I agree with.
So you have them at there. Yeah, you agree with there.
Well, it's so hard because they're all so good. I don't
See, and
know.
we all agree on GTA 4 being number 2.
Mr. Fripp says GTA 3 changed my perspective about video games. Was game changing, he said.
Yeah. Should it? Yeah, well, I guess it needs to be on this list because there's only 5. So, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What are we? There's nothing we're missing.
Well, you got Chinatown Wars from the Nintendo DS. Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars.
And you think that should be on the top 5?
It was a good DS.
I guess a
It was good
discussion
DS
could be
port.
made.
Yeah, I mean, it
The
was,
argument shall be had.
I don't know. 4 was really, really, really good. The problem with
4
4
was fun.
the problem I had with 4 when I started playing 4, even though it was really, really fun, is I felt like the depth of the game went backwards coming from Andreas.
I agree with that, but I would counter the characters
Are
I
better.
felt were better.
That's
Packy, Brucey,
yeah.
Nico himself, and
Yeah,
then you
Nico.
have, I forget the FBI girl, and then you have Roman.
I think Grand Theft Auto 4 has the best cast of characters. I would
I
say
agree.
that. That's why it's on number 2. The thing is, though, San Andreas, it was so deep. It was so. No game was as deep as that. I mean, you got skinny if you didn't go eat. That wasn't
and,
a thing back
and you
then.
you got fat if you ate too much.
If you went on dates too much, because I always took my date to the diner, I plumped up like a plum.
You had to like work out. And stuff, yeah. And San Andreas has Samuel L. Jackson in it.
That's true.
That does bump it up a couple notches.
Yeah, and 5 is just 5 has the benefit of being the most modern. So it has the and it being able to be on the latest hardware.
Well, I feel like 5 for me was almost a perfect balance between San Andreas and 4 because
I
San
agree.
Andreas had a ton of features which were cool. Grand Theft Auto 4 kind of pulled back on the features, and I feel like Grand Theft Auto 5 added back the features that were not as tedious and kept the fun going. Like in Grand Theft Auto, you can't get fat, so you don't have to worry about working out, right?
Right.
So and to be honest, I'm not worried about that feature being in the game. It
But
was cool that it was in San
there
Andreas,
was like
but
10 mini games in the workout place.
yeah.
So, you had to press the push up buttons at the right time. You could go to the punching bags.
Ganderlad says, I've played all these games. I'm definitely not buying again. Honestly, I'd only load up Vice City to cruise around and listen to the radio. That's what
Amen.
you said, Spicy.
The
Listen to
music.
the radio.
The music was the best part. And one of my favorite features, I've mentioned this before, but the original Xbox had a feature where you could rip a CD, and because it had a hard drive in it. It was one of the first consoles that had an actual hard drive. I mean, it was just a PC. They put a Xbox box around, essentially. But you could put in a CD. There was actually on the dashboard a section where you could rip a CD, AC/DC, whatever you wanted, and it recorded the music onto your hard drive. Grand Theft Auto Vice City had your hard drive music as one of the radio stations. So you could change to a radio station that had your own personal music and drive around and listen to music.
Love it.
I wish that existed today. But probably they could. That was like skimming the licensing laws a little bit. I don't know. I mean, that was back in the day when Napster was around. So I
you
think
could just load up your Spotify or whatever on Series X.
But see, that's not the same as hearing your music. And see, this happened on accident. I'd be like, oh, they have a really good station. I really like this music.
I really enjoy these guys.
And then I found out, obviously later, that it was just the stuff that I ripped to my hard drive on the Xbox. But what a cool feature.
Well, but you can create your own playlists and stuff on Spotify. It works really well. I listen to podcasts while I race. It's great.
But it's not in the game, turning to it, going through DJs, going through other music, turning to it in the game as a radio station.
It would be, but what I'm saying is, it would be cool if that's what they implemented, because you can play Spotify in the background.
Oh, okay.
If they did that instead, that would be sweet.
Yeah, you'd have to be able to sign into your Spotify account in the game and have that. That would be awesome. I think that sounds like a really deep cut, kind of feature that I like, but it was awesome as how I like to play games.
Yeah, that's cool.
I agree with their list though. I usually don't agree with lists.
This list you agree with.
But this one I do.
This list I agree with. Mr. Fripp, hey, thank you very much for the question and for writing in, Mr. Fripp. Appreciate it. Captain Obvious writes in and says, "Happy Friday, bros. How is everyone enjoying Back for Blood?"
Oh yeah, it's really
really fun.
I really like
Jordan, we heard Spicy's take on Back for Blood last week. I would like to hear your perspective, your take on Back for Blood this week.
Yeah, I think it's a top tier game.
Top tier.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. It's really well done. It feels to me, it feels like Left 4 Dead 3. I really enjoy it's definitely a game that's more fun with your friends than playing by yourself. So definitely play with friends. It's one of those games. I really like it though. I like the weapon attachment system that they have. I like the constant progression of getting higher loot weapons that then do more damage. I love the card system. As of right now, I love the card system. If they ever introduce microtransactions, that'll ruin the entire game. So let's hope they don't do that. But I
don't think they will.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
I don't think they will.
Yeah. So, but
they don't go to Reddit. As far as I know,
the card system is really cool because it allows you to build your character more specifically to your style. Better cards can match better with different characters because each character has like a passive ability that helps them in the team. You can do like a full-on melee build if you want. You can do a silence build. You can do a medical build, an assault. Like it's really cool. The amount of cards, and this is all just the campaign part. I haven't even touched the competitive stuff yet, which has its own deck system that you can use. But no, I really like this game. I think it's really fun. It's definitely more fun with friends and should be played with friends.
Well, I can also say, with people, I know a lot of people might have issues with a public matching system. But let me tell you about my experience this week.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I went, just quick match, essentially. This is the first time in any gaming that I've had where I linked up with someone on a PC, a PlayStation, and Xbox.
Whoa, the trifecta.
We were all represented, all sounded good. There was no lag. Everyone was super cool that I played with. We played for like 2.5 hours until they all died, which is actually really sad because these are the cases where you're like, I want to friend these people, but how do I do it when they're on a PlayStation?
But they're yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Is there a
They might
Back
have
for
like
Blood friend system?
In-game list or something. I don't know. I don't know how to do it though.
But I had a really, really good time playing with these people, and it was really funny because there's the carrot on the stick is you want to get these what's called supply points, so you can buy these cards that Jordan's talking about that I really, really like, and so I want to play so I can grind out some of these points so I can buy more cards, and these people they were new players too, like me and Jordan were at one point, and they were having the exact same conversations we were having with the corruption cards. Like, what does this do? What's going on here? And it was so funny to hear someone else's experience
For the first time?
For
Or
the
like
first
early
time
on?
when we were that way like 3 days later or 3 days previous. It was really fun. But I had a really good time. And so I think there's a good chance that you're going to run in if you start playing now. I don't know if like in 6 months if this is going to be a Left 4 Dead problem where if you're just starting and you join Left 4 Dead, they'll kick me right off the bat. I don't know how toxic this community will get or if it will. I'm not, I don't want to speculate. But for me, playing a quick match was really, really, really fun. And I met some really cool people.
That is awesome.
But granted, it's a guaranteed really good time if you have your friends with you.
Captain Obvious, there you go. Thank you very much for writing in. That's a great question.
It's a fantastic game.
I have so Cyberpunk was one of the most hyped games of all time, I think.
To its detriment.
I think of all time. I mean, they were the cool kids. Like, remember when we were at E3 2 years ago, and it was like, how do we get into the Cyberpunk booth?
Yeah, it was. We were trying to figure that out.
How do we get into this?
It was so exclusive.
They were the cool kids on campus. Everybody wanted a piece. It's been delayed again. And
the next gen update
the
for,
next
both,
gen update,
for both Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077.
And I just wonder, because I'm waiting to play it on the next gen update. Like I've seen it on PC and I've thought, if I'm going to enjoy this, I want what I just saw on PC.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you think that they ever get back to that? Number one, will Cyberpunk match? Well, Jordan's played the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Will Cyberpunk ever match the critical acclaim that is Witcher 3 with Cyberpunk?
They have to completely, there has to be like a Cyberpunk 2.0 that completely redoes a whole bunch of stuff.
And those were bugs? Is it bugs that you ding on Cyberpunk?
Bugs and lack of content.
Lack of content.
Yeah, lack of. So look, and we said this. I think we all kind of said this during our Cyberpunk review. I guess
our
Cyberpunk days.
Fantastic world building. Just have to say that. That still sticks out to me.
There's something there. There's the soul. A soul of a game is there, but it's covered in a lot of bad stuff. Right. For every one good thing, I think Mark said it. For every one good thing you find, there's an equally just as bad thing you find.
Two things.
Two things. Yeah. But the thing is, it was hard when I was playing it. One, because you're hyped and you're like, okay, maybe I can overlook this. And then the further you get into the game, you realize it's gone. It's not there. It wasn't ready. But what's hard about that game is like I said, the soul of the game is there. You can tell that there's a good game underneath. It just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I think when I say they need to do like a whole 2.0 version or come out with some huge expansion pack or something for Cyberpunk, it's because in The Witcher, the way The Witcher worked is I would do a quest for this guy, and he was like, hey, thanks for your help, man. And then 20 hours later, on the completely different side of the world, this guy was like, oh, hey, man, you helped me with this. Here, help me with another. And it felt like one cohesive world where my choices over here mattered over here when I got to this point. Cyberpunk didn't have that. It had the illusion of that. It had the illusion of, yes, you're making a choice, but that choice doesn't really affect the next zone over or the next.
But is that because due to the bug issues, or
that was due to
lack of content?
That was due to marketing telling us that it would be there and it wasn't, which would be lack of content.
Oh, okay. So, short answer, it will never stand up to The Witcher.
I don't know if never is the right.
I mean, I think what they need to do is I think they need to come out with some big expansion pack or something like that and do like a 2.0, like a No Man's Sky 2.0.
Because I think like 3 or 4 hours in, I'd say, and then it was when I saw it on PC and I just said, I want that. So I'm waiting. Spicy, how far did you get in?
Pretty far.
Yeah, you like really.
I was at the point where I was starting to 100% the map.
Oh, okay.
So I got really, really far in the campaign.
See, and what's interesting about that is in The Witcher 3, you wanted 100% the map, and as you 100%ed the map, you got rid of a monster pit here, which then people came in and built a town, and then you came back to that town and bought, stuff and used it. The world. As you 100% of the world grew, In Cyberpunk, it feels like you're just trying to 100% the world to get the achievement. You know what I mean? There's not... Those quests are there just to be there. Whereas in The Witcher, they were there for a reason. Some of the best quests in The Witcher 3 are side quests that you find randomly.
Yeah.
They're really good.
And I think that's also what hurt Cyberpunk, because that's
There was
what a
this
lot of people were
expectation
expecting.
that was set.
Which, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, The Witcher was really well done, in my opinion. I think one of the greatest games ever made. And then...
Yeah, but Boy Will says, I beat the game as well. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
The problem is, as you're playing it, you see so much more potential.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this could be great.
And plus the glitches were pretty funny, but there's so much potential there.
Now, what updates have they dropped? Content updates?
Not content,
Not
just
really. It's mostly
bug
just bug
patches.
fixes, yeah.
Which the problem they're having now is they fix one thing,
It breaks
it
three.
breaks
others.
three other things.
Oh.
So it's almost like some bad meme. Because those poor developers, I feel really bad for them. I feel bad for the developers. The suits upstairs, the ones that probably were like, hey, well, let's just get it on the shelf so we can make a buck. That's, I think, the problem.
Well, and like what hurts with me, like, because I defended, like, okay, so like when Cyberpunk came out, we started to get those reviews, and the reviewers were kind of starting to knock it, like, oh, it's this and this and this and this, right? Some were praising it, just depending on who you watched. But I remember the developer came out and said, hey, look, all these reviews don't have this patch. When this patch comes out day one, those problems won't be there.
Sure.
And I feel duped because I defended Cyberpunk. I said, hey, they shouldn't be reviewing a game until they get the full launch game, because I don't think that's fair to review a game when you have a build that the general public won't be playing. You know? That's more of a first impression.
So what happened?
And the reason I trusted them so much is because of the pedigree of Witcher 3. And then what happened was they just lied.
The journalist had the pre-alpha build, and we got the alpha build.
it was.
Strike Gaming does say, writes in and says, The Witcher 3 side quests were incredible. Amen.
There was just as much like love and care put into a simple side quest as there was the main story.
Do you think that they were just too ambitious? Is that what it seems like? It's hard to say without knowing like all.
Yeah,
those
I don't
things
know.
that happen on the
I don't
back.
know the internals. I
Because
wouldn't-
I will say, my limited 3 to 4 hours, it was amazing world building. Like, it was a cool world with cool zones, and when you were inside buildings and you could look out and see the city and you could go down into the city, that's a cool experience. It's some of the best world building I've seen in that respect. But but if it's not what The Witcher is, will it ever be?
That's the problem. The Witcher was so good, everybody was expecting, how are they going to top The Witcher? And hey, look, I'm going to be honest. A lot of this is is on them, because as bad as this game was, they knew.
Well, didn't they eventually come out
Well,
to
they
your point and talk about, we built this on the series or for the next gen, not for the. That's ultimately what hurt them, because the Series X bugs were bugs that hurt the game, but the Xbox One bugs were
non-playable.
breakable. It wasn't playable.
Yeah.
And so we were confused, because people at the time were like, I can't even play this game. I'm like, well, I'm not having any issues, but we were all playing on the Series X. And
then
most people were on
you
the
see people playing it on
Xbox
like
One.
a maxed out PC, where you're like, well, the game's looking really good. Anyway, the game looked good. It's
Do
just,
you think they ever get back that hype, or is it gone? That will never
They
come
can.
back.
They can?
If
Yeah, I
do,
think
right?
you can.
I think it's totally possible.
Look, I think they can do two things. I think they can give up on the game and move on to the next project and learn from their mistakes, right? Which maybe some people want them to do. Or they can focus in the next few years, fix the game, come out with some solid expansions maybe, and gain back that trust.
Is there
I don't think
DLC
that-
planned for this game?
I don't think they can give up, because then the name CD Projekt Red is tarnished.
Loses
They
its luster.
they are stuck.
Well, it's like
It's like when the Xbox 360 Ring of Death, when whoever it was went
Peter
into
Moore.
Peter Moore went into Bill Gates and was like, the brand is gone if we don't fix this. The Xbox is gone. I feel like it's kind of similar to that. If they do not take care of those that have purchased the game and fix it and make it better, the name CD Projekt Red, regardless of how good Witcher 3 was, is tarnished.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the brand
true.
is
I mean,
gone.
it's what Blizzard did. I mean, despite what
Is doing.
you might feel.
Well, it's what they're trying to do.
Well, no, but like with Diablo 3, remember it dropped, broke. It took a year, and it was like basically a re-release of Diablo 3. I mean, it might have taken more than a year. It might have taken 2 or 3 years, actually.
I know it took me 3 weeks to be able to play it because it was a single-player game that I had to be online to play.
Yeah, but then
And then their
so they
servers
went
are
back.
broken,
But what I'm
so-
saying is like
Figure
that's
that
what
out.
you've got. That is exactly what you got to do. I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
Spicy.
No, I hope it's what they do. Because like I said, the best way I can describe this game is there's a soul of a game there.
Yeah.
So it just needs to be fleshed out.
Did
and
we get a
fixed.
date on that update?
No.
No, they said next year.
It's
It
been
was
like...
it was that roadmap that
yeah,
was just a
it's
line.
the Q2, now Q3, now Q4, now it's 2022.
They're like, we're putting it over there.
That was funny.
The roadmap.
We would like to
There
apologize.
will be content here, and there's not even a month. It's just quarters.
It's just like, yeah. And there will probably be more content there. So.
And I love it. You know that when they made that roadmap, because the roadmap is funny. Everybody should go look it up. It's pretty funny. There was a meeting they had, and they just boarded everything on the grease board. Okay, we're gonna do this. This is we're gonna do this, and they're like to the intern, point to the intern. Okay, get this out, make it pretty, make it look nice. Let's get this information
and
out.
was like, you gave me no
Yeah,
content.
You just said you're going to fix
All
it.
right.
Probably just took a picture with his phone and.
All right, I'll draw a line, yellow backdrop, futuristic
Q3,
curves.
we're coming out with something.
Q3,
we're coming out with
Q4.
something.
2022, the game is still here.
So, what I'm really excited for is honestly, I am super excited for the Witcher 3 next gen update. That I think that's
Maybe I'll
gonna
jump into
bring
it.
a lot of life back.
Maybe
into
I'll
the game.
restart that game.
Bloody Baron.
Yeah, I
you
do.
played that like 8 times.
That is a good quest, though.
Just wait. That's the first one.
Hey,
They
can
get
you guys?
it.
Hey,
It's really
hold on,
good.
Hey,
Quest.
can you imagine that opening scene on the next gen hardware?
Ooh, in the
Yeah.
bath.
In the tub.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
I will say I was a little bit underwhelmed with what's the witch's name again? Dark haired?
Yennefer.
Yennefer. In the show. Yennefer in the game.
Mark
way
has
hotter.
that same issue. I think.
Yeah.
Well,
You
you
know
have a
what's-
different. Yeah.
So, okay, we're
Like
gonna
she's
be
not that she's not attractive. She's an attractive woman. But Yennefer in the game is like Yennefer.
Yeah. Can I talk about that? If you guys haven't watched, like, I don't know.
The Witcher?
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
You don't like the Witcher show?
I
Oh, I really like the show. Despite
it's
those
because
issues.
I'm a traditionalist with the novel.
Oh. I
Because
see.
you know the whole argue we have with our community all the time, Yen or Triss, that whole
Yeah.
thing. They totally removed Triss from the whole
Well,
thing in the show.
No, I feel like they're setting you up for season 2.
In the books, the reason I liked Triss is because she was one of the key wizards that fought on, is it Stodden Hill? What's that place?
Yeah, but have you not finished Witcher season 1?
Yennefer wasn't there in the books.
Oh, I see what you're
And the whole thing was her being, I am so strong, I'm just going to do it all. And so they made her like the star of the show when in the book she wasn't even there.
saying. Interesting.
And so that's because Triss has her issues, man. She did some things that you don't agree with, but you learn that
She is broken.
you in the books you go, okay, she was at Stodden Hill and she risked her lives with 20 other mages and they gave their lives so people could live. Okay, I appreciate her. It's one of the key moments that in the books you actually start to like her. Whereas in this, she was just there and Yennefer came and did everything for everyone else.
I mean, she was important, but she wasn't. Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
I just like that a lot.
I wonder. I wonder
season-
I wonder why they made that. Because so as someone that I've read some of the books, but I've not read all of them. As someone that is not familiar with that storyline,
Well, you wouldn't even know that Triss is even a player in the Geralt heart, triangle.
what I feel like it showed is how they were trying to show how powerful Yennefer is.
See, and I'm okay with that, but don't do it at the cost of the integrity of another character trying to develop their character to that's okay.
Maybe-
You can do that elsewhere. You can easily show how powerful she is elsewhere. But they chose that specific story to say Yennefer is strong. When in actuality, it wasn't the whole case. So
The administrator says, not my Trish. Hashtag not my Trish.
Yeah.
In the book, Trish is thirsty.
So I don't know how they're gonna make me like Triss more now.
I don't know. They might do something in season 2.
Sure,
Give
but
her, we'll
but
see.
in the books, that was a key part in you going, okay, she's done some things I don't agree with, but damn, she's actually a really cool character and a really cool person.
Well, we'll see what season 2 is, but
it was at the cost of her.
Spicy, I hear your frustration.
And
I
I'm
understand it.
I'm a team Yennefer. Like I am on team Yennefer. We talk about this. You like your redheads.
like my
I
redheads.
think what
And
I'm
this
gonna
upset
do,
me because now it's everyone's just team Yennefer because who else is there?
So I was Team Yennefer. I think for the next gen update, I might be Team Triss. So I mean,
With the 4K graphics coming in.
we'll see. I mean, I've already just to change things up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
anyways,
Oh,
interesting.
there we go. That's dropping in December, by the way.
What is
Witcher
The Witcher
season 2.
TV show, not
yeah.
the next gen update. We
Yeah,
have no idea.
not the next
That's
gen
going to be
update,
on
yeah.
some roadmap.
Season 2. Sorry, I misspoke there. Let's take one more question here. Let's take this question from. Let's take T-Buck's question. T-Buck says, "Happy Friday, bros. Here's a question for your male sex." It says, not sure if you have seen it yet, but who would you put your money on in a Squid Game scenario consisting of all the famous video game characters and why? Keep up the great work. We love you guys. I've not yet seen
Okay,
Squid
yeah,
Game.
funny story. Everybody keeps talking about Squid Game. What is it?
It's
Okay, I've been out of the loop.
yeah. I've not. So maybe we'll take
I
another
don't-
question. Have you seen Squid Games?
You're saying words I don't
Okay.
know
Yeah,
what's going on.
okay.
We'll
just
watch
for the
it.
record,
we'll watch it. Everyone is raving about it.
Back for Blood and New World literally came out in the past couple weeks, so I have not watched any Netflix or anything. But
Well-
everybody, I keep hearing this strange term called Squidland or something.
Yeah, Squid Game.
Squid Game.
It's on Netflix. It's
Give me a rundown of what it's about. Give me the
A
trailer.
Netflix series, Survive or Die, Who Will Live to See 45.6 billion.
one.
So is it-
You win it.
So is it Battle Royale?
It's Battle
Blade Runner? Or not,
It's Hunger Games.
what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger show from the 80s? Running Man. Is it Running Man?
Oh,
That's actually
perhaps.
awesome,
Yeah,
yeah.
that might be. Yeah, that might be.
That's
I don't know.
the-
But
that's the
everybody's
OGBR.
Everybody's raving about it.
Running Man is the original Battle Royale.
T-Bucks, you've outed us. We've not seen it.
Yeah, can I-
Apologies. We'll get back to you on that question.
Can I
resubmit that question next week?
Can I watch it with my wife, or is it one of those shows?
You go watch it with your wife anyway.
I'm going to IMDb this and just see
Okay.
what this is all about.
Let me know if I can watch it with my wife, or if it's one of those shows, or if they Game of Thrones it.
Okay. Oh. Wait.
Is it in English?
No, this Squid Game is a Korean one. Okay, I guess it is. I think this is the original one. All right. Well, we will figure this out. We will probably watch this.
Yeah, I'll
maybe.
watch it tonight. I'll watch episode 1.
But it's basically it's
Oh no, that's right. Black Knight chat says it's a South Korean battle royale. It's a great show.
just change the voice to English. So basically, pretend it's an anime, Jordan.
Oh wait, Is it
like dubbed?
Do they not dub it?
I doubt it.
Maybe you get off.
Well, I mean, if it's a battle royale, they're
I
probably
do not
really-
understand these characters on this screenshot of the thumbnail.
If it's a battle royale, they probably are not talking that much.
There are circles and lines that dictate that these are not using Roman characters. This is Korean language. So it is in a different... Yeah, it's a voiceover.
Cool. All right, we'll watch it. T-Bucks. Thank you very much. We'll watch
You
that.
change voices to use voice. Okay,
Krieg
cool.
League with the super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat, Krieg League. He says, "Hey bros, have you all seen the Cycle Frontier? It's a PC only beta right now, but has plans for console. It's very cool, futuristic Tarkov style first person shooter."
Jordan,
Do you remember when before the show I said, David, I have a new game that I think you'll like?
This was it?
This was it, and then we got distracted with something else.
Oh,
The
what?
Cycle
Now, why?
Frontier.
Why will I like it? Tell me. Because
Um,
we're watching. I have it.
It's
here
like
pulled
a
up on
cheap version
Steam.
of Tarkov.
I think
And
it's
you like Vigor, which
Yeah,
is a
so
cheap
like-
version of Tarkov.
Well, no. This is how I think of it, and I think.
Wait, when is
Mark-
it coming to console?
Well, we don't know. It's going to come to PC first.
And it's in a closed beta right now.
Yeah, and it's going to come out in 2022. But so like, Vigor is right here on the number line, right?
Okay.
Tarkov is right here on the
I
number
think
line.
that's right in the middle.
I feel like the Cycle is right there in the number
The
line in the middle. Yeah.
It's like, it's what brings the two together.
Yeah.
It
in a
is, yeah.
sci-fi world.
It's
of
the
adventure.
sandwich.
I think
it's
it-
the meat on the sandwich.
So I think it leans more towards Tarkov because it's first person, but it has the same. I mean, Tarkov and Vigor are similar in the fact that they're survival games that you lose everything.
It's a very bright colored as far as
Oh, Epic Games publishes it.
Yeah.
That's why it's probably bright color.
And why they have money.
Yeah, wow.
It does look really fun though. When I said it's a cheap Tarkov, I mean,
Yeah, we didn't mean that, but like when we say like that, meaning like you don't. I don't think you have to necessarily like worry about like what bullets you're bringing in with your gun.
Yeah, it's
you
bullets.
Know what I mean?
It's guns with attachments, is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you do have to worry about bringing in ammo.
a sci-fi world.
But they all have the same. It's SMG ammo. It's sniper ammo. It's assault ammo.
Yeah, and
Perhaps-
then you still do have like a hideout that you upgrade. Now, what's really cool,
Crafting, stuff like that.
What's really cool is the map that they have on display. It says, okay, everybody has this map for 6 hours. Go. And you just
so
jump
you
in and
have
out.
to
Yeah,
play
in
the
and out.
same
So you
map.
play that. And then at the end of the 6 hours, I think the storm comes in and the cycle continues or repeats itself. Right? Anyway.
Cycle Frontier.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know if they'll have different maps or something, but that's what I was hearing about. Every
so I should
6
add
hours
this to my repertoire.
No, I think this is
fits
up
in.
your.
Has
yeah,
a lot of
this is-
potential.
Yeah,
you
it
have
does.
Lupo playing it. You have Dr. Disrespect
He was
played
playing
it today.
yeah.
He was playing it today. You have a lot of streamers. Summit is starting to play it now. You have a lot of streamers jumping on this. It's It looks really. I'm out of the closed beta. I've signed up for it. I haven't got access yet. Jordan actually has because
'cause-
the game was actually they totally
They did.
restyled the game. It's a completely 180 from what the Cycle was originally.
Yeah, so
Cycle
I-
was a battle royale, right?
Yeah, it was more battle royale-ish. I mean, don't get me wrong. I kind of think Tarkov is a battle royale. It's just a different style of battle royale.
Yeah.
Version.
It's forcing players to meet up on the map somewhere.
Yeah. So Cycle came out was it last year or the year before? But I downloaded it a long time ago because it's a free-to-play game on Epic Stores or Epic Games Launcher, whatever. And it was called The Cycle, and I think they were on like season 2 Storm Chasers, and anyway, but yeah, they completely shifted from a more traditional battle royale to this style of game. Or this style of battle royale. And what's really cool, actually, is they had a huge blog post saying, hey, if you bought certain items, they'll carry over cosmetically to Cycle Frontier. If you bought these items, you're being fully refunded for the year. It was actually a really...
Wow.
They said, hey, because we're
They
closing...
must have fun. Well, if it's Epic
Well,
Games
yeah.
publishing them, they have funding.
Yeah, they... Epic. Yeah,
Speaking of that,
so.
speaking of Epic, hey, well, by the way, that's cool. Kriegly, thank you very much for that super chat. Sounds like I'm going to have to check it out. It fits in perfectly to my repertoire.
You would like it.
Yeah, it's really...
You would like
Only
it.
problem is it's on PC beta.
Closed beta.
So the closed beta is actually ending at the end of the month at November 1st, and then the game is essentially going dark until we assume their launch in 2022.
Watch some gameplay.
It's going dark, so it won't. So no one will be able to play it.
No.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow, very interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely check out some.
So they're
gameplay.
basically getting what they need from the beta, and then they're going to adjust and come out.
Do you know what I
2022.
like about this beta? I've been watching streamers. Whenever you exit the game, it's like, would you like to fill out a survey as you exit? Genius. I would love to have done that on like Battlefield and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the point of a beta.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing a good
Interesting.
job.
I like that. Craig League again. Thank you very much for that super chat. That actually does. I was gonna say something.
Okay, go ahead.
I forgot,
You
but
have
that
time.
does us. That does us for the week, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Enjoyed.
What's coming up? What's the next game coming up?
So,
What can I be excited for? Because I'm hitting Back for Blood as hard as I can. It's actually knocked me off of my Far Cry splurge.
Far Cry is really good.
It's fantastic.
It's really good.
It's knocked me off, and I'm really, really enjoying Back for Blood. But what's up next?
Well, so I'm at this. Do I go? Do I get in? Do I wait for Grand Theft Auto trilogy because
That
I've
would
never
be the
played
next
it?
one.
Do I want to
November.
dive in deep?
When is that day? We talked about that.
11th,
I totally
November
November
11th,
11th.
and then you have Forza, and then you have Battlefield.
November 11th. Okay, I can do that. All right.
Or do I
have a couple
just
weeks.
wait? What's the other big open world game coming that
A
I'm?
couple weeks.
I don't remember. There was one that I was like, maybe I'll wait for that one.
Well, I got time to finish the games I'm playing. That's all I care about. I hate getting knocked off of a game, which I kind of is happening with Far Cry.
I'm
But
really excited for Crusader Kings to come to the Xbox.
when is that
Very
happening?
excited. I think also in November.
Did they give a date, or did they just say, we'll put it on a
No, I'm
roadmap?
pretty sure it's November.
Okay.
We'll look it up here. You can play the outro music.
I have never. Okay. All right. Well, that's
You've
it
never
for
played Crusader Kings?
I've installed it, but I get overwhelmed at the
Dude, it's
daunting task of reading everything right at the
It
bat.
is so good.
But I have it. I bought it. It's installed on my PC. But I get knocked off because I'm playing like Back for Blood or something like that. And anyways, thanks everybody for joining. David,
I have no date. I don't know. We'll see you guys. Have a good one.